Have you ever wondered how the top CEOs of the world manage their money? What is their secret sauce for wealth creation? To get an insight on how the investing journey of top leaders has been, we bring you My Investment Portfolio. Bullet episodes in this entire series where we will look into what are the best and worst investment decisions made by these top leaders. And today, we are glad to welcome Ajay Tyagi, Head of Equity at UTI AMC. Ajay, good evening and welcome to the show. We just want to know about your investment journey, and in this journey, I want to ask you what has been your first investment?
My first investment was after I started my job, and it was into bonds which were tax saving bonds. So at that time, if you remember, there used to be these bonds related to infrastructure which also provided for tax saving, and ELSS as an instrument had a very low exemption limit. So we were in a way forced to invest into instruments like bonds, and that was my first investment.
Got it. But then let's talk about your investment decisions and strategies. Ajay, tell me which was the best or the worst investment decision that you've taken so far.
That's a very easy one, Kavita. My best investment has been the discipline of investment into equities. Rather than a product or a mutual fund scheme or a stock, I would just say that the fact that I've been disciplined right from the very beginning to make investments into equities as an asset class has proved to be my best investment. My worst investment, in a way, was the first couple of years where I invested into bonds because I wanted to save tax. But yeah, from a slightly longer term perspective, that didn't provide the returns which the other asset class as an equity has provided.
Got it. So Ajay, tell me now, in this entire scenario of uncertainty, unpredictability going on globally, triggered obviously, what is your asset allocation like now?
Kavita, for me, the asset allocation is predominantly into equities. I've always tried to find out what is the amount of money that I may need as an emergency fund or something which I may need to fund something in the family, some event in the family. That's the amount which I always try to keep into fixed income and into fairly liquid assets. Other than that, everything else goes into equity. So as far as my personal asset allocation is concerned, I would say heavily skewed towards equities.
So now, since you are heavily gone towards equity, or that is the major part of your portfolio, do you also have like a fixed income portfolio? If you have, then kindly share.
It's predominantly into certain debt schemes of UTI itself. And some portion is always lying in the bank account. So, very basic. So there is nothing complex that I try to do in fixed income. Some amount of money in liquid funds, some amount of money into debt funds, and some money lying in the bank in the form of FDs. Yeah.
Sure. Ajay, do you think rebalancing is an important step that one needs to take whenever it comes to realign your portfolio goals? And how do you rebalance your portfolio? Have you been doing that?
No, as I said in the reply to the previous question, because everything predominantly is into equities, there is hardly any rebalancing. Keeping the amount that is required on account of some contingency, emergency or an event, everything else goes into equity, and I'm very happy riding through the entire volatility that happens in equity markets without feeling the urge to rebalance every now and then.
Right. So normally whenever we advise investors to make a financial portfolio, we tell them it should be aligned to your financial goals. So asking the same question, Ajay, now, which financial goal were you able to fulfill with your investment portfolio?
That's a very interesting one. I would say more than any material financial goals like buying a house, buying a car, funding child's education, I would say my biggest financial goal was to actually gain some amount of independence, some amount of mental security. And I think my investment portfolio has done just that, which is that it has provided me some amount of security and a very liberating feeling in terms of being extremely independent and not being dependent on any set of events in my life.
All right, so that was all. Thank you so much, Ajay, for removing time and helping us with this segment. So, my investment portfolio with Ajay Tyagi.